one more layer of granulosa cells. Now there is one layer of granulosa cells. Later, one more layer of granulosa cells will come surrounding the primary oocyte. This is the primary oocyte. Now the first structure with one layer of granulosa cells surrounding primary oocyte, this structure is called primary follicle. This structure is called primary follicle. So in the ovary like this, so many follicles are present. After that, one more layer of granulosa cells came. So now it will be called as secondary follicle. 60,000, 70,000 follicles will be there, okay, in the ovary. I have drawn only two here. So primary follicle, secondary follicle. Now the baby is still baby only. Primary oocyte which is there. As the baby becomes child or when the baby is born, that time meiosis will start. Meiosis 1 will start, but it will not end because the baby is still a child. Meiosis 1 will start, but it will reach only till the prophase 1 stage. That is in the beginning of meiosis 1. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, like that stages are there, no? So meiosis will start and it will end in prophase 1. Further, it will not go until the girl becomes puberty stage. So when the girl reaches the puberty, that time meiosis 1 will complete. When meiosis 1 completes, the primary oocyte will divide and form secondary oocyte. And one polar body also will be there, first polar body. So this is a secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte. When is secondary oocyte produced? It is during puberty stage of female, and since it is a product of meiosis completed, it will be haploid. Whereas earlier whatever cells were there like primary oocyte and all, they were because of mitosis, so they will be diploid. Secondary oocyte is haploid. Now what about the granulosa cells? The granulosa cells number will increase further. It will increase further, and there is a formation of a fluid filled cavity here. A fluid filled cavity formed in this follicle, and this cavity is called as antrum. This fluid filled cavity is called as antrum. So primary you saw, secondary you saw, then what will be this follicle called as then? It happened during puberty stage. Primary, secondary, then what follicle is this?
Tertiary.
Yes, very good. Tertiary follicle. So tertiary follicle will have inside secondary oocyte with antrum. Now the antrum will increase in size and more cells will come around the secondary oocyte. More cells will come, granulosa cells will come, and antrum will become more larger. Now this secondary oocyte is ready to come out of the ovary. It has to come out of the ovary. Here also pituitary gland plays a role. There are hormones called LH and FSH. In females also, what happens is LH or luteinizing hormone causes breaking of this big follicle. So after tertiary follicle, what follicle comes is called Graafian follicle. So because of the production of LH hormone, Graafian follicle will rupture. They will break. After they break, this not ovum, secondary oocyte. It did not become ovum till now. This secondary oocyte will come out. They will come out. Who will collect that secondary oocyte? When it comes out, who will collect it? Very good. Part of the fallopian tube, fimbriae will collect it and it will enter into the fallopian tube. Then when it will be called as ovum, that is next thing. So whatever we saw now is happening inside the ovary. When the girl is in embryo stage, the girl's embryo time ovary, they have oogonia, which will undergo mitosis to form primary oocyte. Primary oocyte will be covered by one layer of cells, then it's called primary follicle. Then it will be called as secondary follicle. Meiosis will start but it will not complete. It will get completed when the female becomes puberty stage, leading to tertiary follicle stage, later graphene follicle stage. Now these growing follicles, these follicles are growing, no? They produce the female sex hormone. To grow these follicles, follicle stimulating hormone is there here. So the pituitary gland present in the brain of the female will produce two hormones, LH, FSH. FSH will help in the growth of these follicles. More and more cells are coming about, no? That is because of follicle stimulating hormone. Now, when they are growing, these follicles will produce the first female sex hormone. Anybody remembers? It starts with E. First female sex hormone.
Estrogen.
Very good.
Estrogen.
Good. Estrogen is a female sex hormone. It's produced by these growing follicles. Primary, secondary, tertiary, as they grow, they will produce estrogen. Who helps them grow is follicle stimulating hormone from the brain. And once the growth is over, graphene follicle it has to break. That breaking is caused by luteinizing hormone. And the graphene follicle will become ruptured, no? That ruptured one, now it doesn't have any secondary oocyte now. This broken ruptured graphene follicle will now be called as corpus luteum. Ruptured, ruptured means broken, empty. The empty graphene follicle is called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum produces the second female sex hormone. What was the second female sex hormone? It starts with P. R. Yes. Good. So corpus luteum produces progesterone. So these are the different hormones which are present inside the female ovaries. Later corpus luteum will get destroyed by itself. It is progesterone hormone has a role. In case the fertilization happens, then the uterus lining should not come out because otherwise the embryo will die. That should not take place. So progesterone helps in maintaining the endometrium lining. In case pregnancy is not there means corpus luteum will also get destroyed.